Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing something very different today. Honestly, this is kind of spur of the moment for me to just pick up the camera and start filming, but I thought it'd be fun to take you along and show you what a normal day as an out-of-state Disney content creator looks like and give you a behind-the-scenes look into what my day-to-day life looks like here at home when I'm not at Disney, and how I've gone from being a full-time stay-at-home mom and now adding on the role of full-time Disney content creator, and how I juggle both of those things at the same time. So I'm really excited to take you along for the day. Okay, so my morning so far, I've dropped Ellie at preschool, and today is one of 2 days out of the week where I get a good chunk of the day to get work done. So I love these days. I love Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I ran over to the gym and got a workout in. I ran to Walmart and ran a quick errand, and now I'm home and it's about 10:30. So I only have a few more hours. I'm like, the day already flies by. I only have a few more hours until preschool pickup, and then I switch into mom mode. But I've gone ahead and created a to-do list here on my phone. I am a checklist kind of girl. I love checking those boxes off. I love it. So I'm just gonna read you my to-do list. I would say about half of what I do during the day is keeping up with our home and like household things, just normal stay-at-home mom kind of stuff. And then the other half is work related. So I'm just gonna read you my to-do list. So first is laundry. I gotta keep that moving always, and clean up Ellie's bedroom and kind of pick things up around the playroom as well. I need to get dinner in the crock pot later this afternoon. We're doing chicken tortilla soup tonight. I need to lay out my outfits for my packing video that's gonna come very soon. But I normally film my packing videos about a week in advance, so I have to have all of my outfits planned out well in advance before that. So a lot goes into getting ready to film for that packing video. The next thing on my to-do list is eat lunch. That always goes on my to-do list. I need to film for my prepping for Disney vlog. So I'm also filming another vlog today. So I need to kind of squeeze in a little segment for that video that I've been working on for a couple weeks now. I need to respond to some emails, and I'm actually gonna share what the emails are, because I know a lot of creators will say like, oh, I have so many emails to get to. And you're like, what emails? Like, who are you emailing? So I am gonna share what these emails are and who I'm emailing with. Lastly, I need to finalize my content calendar for my next Disney trip. So that is a huge piece of the Disney planning process for me. Right now, I have my videos mapped out through, I would say, early to mid-April. I need to double check my dates, but I normally plan out my content at least 6 weeks in advance, and I'll share a little bit more about that process later on this afternoon. But that's a huge part of going to Disney for me. I go into every trip knowing exactly what videos I'm gonna film each and every day, and I really try to maximize my time without overwhelming myself because I have definitely come home from Disney feeling burnt out by trying to film way too many videos in one trip and not pacing myself a little bit better. So I try to find a good balance while still taking advantage of the time that I have, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into all of the household things, and then we'll jump into all of the work related stuff in just a little bit. All right, dinner's in the crock pot, laundry's moving, Ellie's room is picked up a little bit, I folded some clothes, you know, checked a few things off of my to-do list around the house. Now I need to jump into some actual work-related things. So I'm gonna go ahead and film a little segment that I'm doing for my Prep for Disney vlog, which is gonna go up next week. So this video will go up before my Prep for Disney vlog goes up, but I need to keep filming for that vlog. So this is kind of like vlog inception here a little bit, but I'm gonna go film that and then check that off my list, and then it'll be on to the next thing. I have my to-do list pulled up. I have done laundry. This is me literally checking this off. Laundry, clean up Ellie's room, get dinner in the crock pot, lay out outfits for my Prep for Disney vlog, eat lunch, film for Prep for Disney vlog. So I got that done. And the last two things on my to-do list are emails and finalize my content calendar. And obviously every day looks a little bit different. This is just one example of what my day could look like. A lot of days I spend a good chunk of time editing or creating thumbnails. Right now I don't have much editing to do. I'm in kind of the filming stage, so it kind of comes in waves between filming and editing, and it's just kind of this ebb and flow of getting to do one after the other on repeat. Some days it's more YouTube focused, other days it's more Instagram focused. If I have content that needs to go up for like an Instagram reel, I'll be editing on my phone a lot. I use CapCut to edit all of my reels. Recently, I did a couple of sponsored posts over on Instagram, and those were on a deadline, and I had to send them over for approval before I can post them, and I have to write out the caption to get that approved first and make sure that I use all of the hashtags they want me to use and tag all the right things, and you know, so a lot of like nitpicky little things that can be a little time consuming. Some days and some afternoons, those are the kind of things that I have to prioritize. But right now I don't have any sponsorships coming up, so I'm able to focus a little bit more on my own content and, you know, not have to work off of someone else's schedule and calendar. And, you know, I get to make my own calendar, which is really fun. But again, that's kind of the ebb and flow of being a creator on multiple platforms. Sometimes you're thriving on both platforms. Other times your focus is on one over the other. And you know, so right now I feel like my focus is really heavily on YouTube, at least this week, just with my workload. Other weeks, it doesn't look like this. And I have my videos like pre-edited and they're ready to go, you know, a week or 2 weeks in advance. And so I don't have to put as much work into my channel because I've done the work up front, if that makes sense. That's a little behind the scenes on how my days typically work and just kind of the flow of it. But I'm sitting down with my laptop right now because I do need to answer a few emails. So I did actually want to share what the emails are. So let me actually pull this up so I can share it with you. Like, who am I emailing? Who do content creators email with? So the first email I need to respond to is actually a brand partnership. They reached out to me about sponsoring a video, which is very exciting. So it's a brand that I love. I use their products. I would be so excited and so thrilled to work with them. So a lot of times it's a lot of back and forth where I email and say, hey, this is my rate, here's my media kit. And then they'll email back their response. And then, you know, I'll say, okay, well, what if we did this? I have this idea. So it's a lot of back and forth. And then once we kind of land on like, okay, this is how much I'm gonna get paid, this is what they're wanting, whether it's a Instagram story, Instagram reel, a 60-second integrated clip into a YouTube video or a dedicated YouTube video, kind of like whatever they want, and we land on a price, then we move forward with a schedule. So, and like a timeline of when they want that video up. It's a lot of back and forth and then a lot of waiting for that time frame to actually come. So I need to email them back and just say, you know, yeah, that totally works for me. We'll touch base as it gets closer to the date, and I'll be on the lookout for a formal offer and contract to sign. So that's kind of how that works. The other email I'm looking at here is actually from DVC Rental Store. I went ahead and put in a rental request for a trip in December. because I wanna go in December during Christmas time, I know that DVC rentals fill up really quick around Christmas. So I wanted to go ahead and get my request in now. Honestly, I should have done it like a month ago because I had to be a little flexible with my dates, but we got it all settled. I got my request fulfilled. So what I need to do now is sign my rental agreement. It's just like a virtual, I think DocuSign rental agreement. And then there's a link they send where I can submit my final payment. So for my specific reservation, I'm paying 25% now upfront, and then I pay the remaining balance 75 days prior to check-in, which is really nice because December is pretty far away. So I have a little bit of time to, make payments for that trip. So my 25% deposit is $273, and that includes the $100 original deposit that I paid just to get the process started. So I'm gonna make that final payment, and then I need to take the confirmation number and input that into my Disney Experience account, which is honestly my favorite part. I love that whole process of like link confirmation, and then you see it pop up in your account, and then all of a sudden you have this Disney trip planned. It's just the best feeling. So I'm very excited for that. So that is the other email that I need to get to. And then my private transportation company, I need to respond back to them because they do host my private transportation on every Disney trip. I send over my trip details and they get that on their calendar and get that squared away on their end. And I just need to confirm that all of that information is correct. And I also need to go back and let them know, I forgot to include this in my original email, that I need a front-facing car seat. So I need to go ahead and send all that info over to them. So that way we're good to go for transportation for me and my daughter on our next Disney trip. So those are the emails. So sometimes it's with like brands and sponsorship kind of stuff. Other times it's just like more generic trip planning type emails, but it's kind of a mix of everything. I try to set aside a designated amount of time that I focus on emails, whether it's responding or me reaching out to brands and companies and pitching an idea for a sponsorship. And then I also have brands that are starting to reach out to me. So it's kind of a mix of both, but I try to sit down and do emails before it gets overwhelming. Right now it's not a lot at all, but that can be a big chunk of my day depending on what's going on and what videos I have coming up and sponsorships and different things like that. So it totally depends. And some days I don't have any emails to get to. I don't have any like admin type stuff. Another admin thing is I keep track of all of my own expenses. So if I book something for a Disney trip, I make sure to take a screenshot of the receipt and I save that in a certain folder. I save that email to a folder, and then I have a spreadsheet that I'm tracking all of my expenses and I track all of my income. So that way I have, just a really organized system for all of that, because again, this is a job. So that's another piece of something that I try to keep up with day to day. Any expense or any earned income, I try to track that as soon as it gets deposited or as soon as I spend whatever the money is. That way, again, I'm staying as organized as possible, and it's not something that I'm having to sort through at the end of the month and have to like go backwards and try to figure out like, oh, okay, let me find that. Like, what did I spend? Okay, I think that brand paid, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm able to kind of keep up with it as I go. So that is another thing that it takes me like 60 seconds to do every day, but if I don't do it, then it takes way longer at the end of the month. So that is another kind of admin thing that I make sure to incorporate daily. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer these emails. I'm gonna get my reservation confirmation number linked to my Disney Experience account, and it is almost 2 o'clock. So it is almost time for me to go grab Ellie. Y'all, these days like fly. Between trying to keep up with things around the house, filming, editing, and then not to mention I have to edit this video that I'm filming right now. So that way this video is ready to be uploaded over the weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and knock these emails out and then I will check back in. Okay, another thing that I try to knock out like every other day is respond to comments on YouTube. What I typically do is when a video goes live, I try to respond to comments like immediately within the first, I would say 30 minutes to an hour, I'm responding to comments. And then after that, you know, like I have to move on with my day. And so I'm not able to monitor comments as closely as I do within the first like 30 minutes to an hour. So every couple days I try to go back and respond to as many comments as I can. You know, if I sat and tried to respond to every single comment on, you know, on all the videos that I've posted this past month, like I don't know if I could spend that kind of time. So, you know, it's getting harder as my channel is growing, which is really exciting, that I just don't have the capacity to respond to all of the comments, which I never thought my channel would be at that kind of place. Like, you know, I remember when my videos only got 1 comment, 2, maybe 3 comments. And so responding to everyone was like, well, of course. And now, like, sometimes I just can't. So it's really exciting and kind of a tangible way that I'm able to see my channel grow. But I do try to respond to as many comments as possible. So I am going to pull that up right now. That is on my to-do list next. Okay, I moved down to the floor because it was just a little bit easier to like type with my computer sitting on the coffee table. And I can't sit in that same chair at the island all day long. Like, I have to kind of move around the house. So this is just one of the many locations that I get work done is at the coffee table on the floor. But I've wrapped up responding to a bunch of comments and it is almost time for me to go pick up Ellie from preschool. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do and the last thing I'll share before I kind of switch from work from home Disney content creator mode to mom mode, because I do have to kind of like turn the switches on and off based on the time of day. And if I have Ellie with me, what I'm able to do looks different than if I don't have her with me. I'm able to work on a little bit more and I'm able to film more. And, so today's one of those days where I'm able to get a little bit more done, which is really, really nice. I have 2 days a week like this, which is fantastic. So I only have a few more minutes before I need to shut it down and switch into mom mode. So the last thing I'm gonna do is finalize my content calendar, and I'm looking at my laptop here, pulling up the notes section. That is kind of where I jot down any video idea, any idea I have for a reel. If I think of it, sometimes it's at 3 a.m., sometimes it's like in the middle of my workout, sometimes I just jot it down really fast because I know I'm gonna forget it. So I have a running list of videos that I can always pull from. I would say like 90% of the ideas that I have never get used or I'll think about it more and be like, that's a horrible idea. No one would watch that. But it is nice always having a list of ideas to pull from. But right now I have all of my videos mapped out until April 4th and it is February 15th. So I've got a lot of content all mapped out and ready to go. And I could honestly go ahead and like map out all of April's content as well because I have a Disney trip booked in April as well. That's really fun that I get to coordinate my videos and I get to coordinate my content around the trips that I take. Early on when I first started on YouTube, I was only going to Disney once a year. And now that this is my full-time job, I'm able to go, every 4 to 6 weeks or so, which is just insane that I get to do this. I'm like, what in the world? But it's really cool because I've started planning my trips around my content, which has been a huge shift for me in the past, I would say like 6 months or so, which is really, really fun. And it just takes creating content to a different level for me. Whereas before it was like, all right, how much can I get out of this? Like living out of state, I can't just pop into the parks at any point, like, oh, there's a new snack for Valentine's Day. Let me just run over to Magic Kingdom and do a quick reel on this new snack that just rolled out. Or there's a new restaurant opening in Disney Springs. Let me just pop over on a Wednesday morning and vlog me at this new restaurant, and I can, you know, crank this video out and have it up by that night or the next morning. Like, obviously I'm not able to do that because I live out of state. So, you know, I really have to be intentional about how I utilize my time when I'm at Disney, which takes a lot of planning and intentionality on the front end. So I can't just show up to Disney and be like, okay, I'm just gonna like vlog every day and we'll see what I come home with, which is totally the mindset I used to have when I went to Disney. It was just like a fun, like, whoa, whatever. And now I'm like, okay, no, this is my full-time job. I have to be intentional about what I'm able to film. And I have to make a list every single day of what I'm going to get content of, and coming up with video ideas well before my trip even arrives. So again, it's just a different level of planning and intentionality, and it's a lot of fun, but it just takes a little bit of extra effort to have all those videos mapped out in advance, that far in advance, like at least 6 weeks out. But that is how I make it work as an out-of-state Disney content creator. It can be discouraging at times because you see other creators who are able to just pop in and do these things whenever they want, who are Florida locals. And, you know, I'm like, I'm not able to do that, or I can't be there for that, or you know, it's like I have to jam pack so much content into one trip to be able to maintain my channel for the next 2 months. So it's just a totally different way of doing YouTube and a different way of being a Disney content creator, and, you know, how you make it work living out of state. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. I love that this is my full-time job. I still can't believe that I get to do this and earn an income doing this. Anyway, to give you, I guess, a little bit more of a behind the scenes look into what I'm actually referring to and like what I'm talking about with planning videos in advance, I'm gonna read out like, here are the next 4 videos I have, and I do 2 videos a week. So today's video is obviously this like behind the scenes kind of day in the life. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna title this yet, but that is gonna go up on Monday. And then my prepping for Disney vlog is going up next. So that is the video that I'm currently filming in addition to this one today. So I'm doing 2 vlogs today. And that's another video too that I've been, you know, vlogging for the past couple of weeks as well. And then after that, I'm gonna have a spring Disney outfit guide and try on video that's gonna go up. Then it'll be my packing video, and then it's gonna be the start of my next series of Disney trip vlogs. And then I have every single day mapped out exactly what videos I'm gonna film while I'm there. So day 1, I am filming, okay, so day 1, check-in day, I'm gonna be filming my travel day vlog. I'm filming a room tour and a club tour, like resort tour review kind of video. I'm also gonna be getting content of the resort that we're staying at, so that way I can film like a pros and cons kind of review video when we get home. And that way I have all of the B-roll from the resort. So my goal is to get all of that B-roll content on day 1. And that's probably gonna be a big reason why we don't go to a park that day, because I need to get the content from the resort. Day 2, we are doing the Magic Kingdom after hours, so that's gonna be a vlog. Day 3, I'm filming another room tour, and then I have another park day vlog. Day 4 is another park day vlog, and I have another idea that I'm kind of on the fence about, but I might film 2 videos that day. And then day 5 is a dining review vlog and our travel day home vlog. So you can see I have all 5 days already mapped out. I know exactly what I'm gonna get. The only thing I haven't done yet is go through and add in any content I wanna get for Instagram. So that is a whole nother list. Obviously, this is all YouTube content, and the content that I get for Instagram is very different. And because I wanna maintain both platforms, you know, I have to think well in advance and plan it out. And anyway, I feel like I'm getting a little redundant here, but that's kind of a glimpse into how I map this out and what a typical day here looks like. So I hope this was interesting. Again, every day looks so different. And this is just, I know I mentioned this earlier, but this is just one example of what a normal day for me looks like between filming, editing, and responding to brands and companies' emails, finalizing trip plans, getting all of that squared away. I'm mapping out content, the list goes on. It's a lot, and every day looks different, and it's so much fun. I have a blast doing this. It is just a dream come true. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna go grab my daughter from preschool and switch things into mom mode now. Thank you again. Make sure that you are subscribed if you want to see all of the vlogs that I just shared with you. So, little behind the scenes here of what's to come. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this style of video, or if you found it interesting, or, I don't know. But thanks again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.